I'm an independent demonstrator for Stampin' Up! In the UK. Thank you for joining me today. I really appreciate you giving me some of your time. What am I here for today? I am going to give you some ideas and some inspiration for your paper crafting projects, as well as help you love what you make. My videos are usually easy to follow along to, and as a Stampin' Up! Demo, I mainly use their products, really just because I love them. The coordination is second to none. So the craft along video today involves this beautiful Zany Zoo set, but what we're going to do is actually a Christmas make. So I am part of a challenge where we make 10 Christmas cards every month throughout the year, yeah, even in the summer, and then by time sort of November, December comes round, we can concentrate on making those really special one-off cards, and all the other ones that we need are already done. Now, Zany Zoo does not scream Christmas, does it? Oh, I forgot to tell you as well, I use a sketch for these challenge cards. So we've done simple stamping. If you go back and look at the others, we've done a template around a simple stamping design. What else have we done? Using the DSP in different ways. And this time we are going to do a fun fold. So it's a fun fold. We're still going to start off with the sketch. That gives us sort of the base, the start of where we're going, and in fact when you see the sketch I was like, I know what I can do with that. So that's what we're going to do. We're using Zany Zoo. Doesn't scream Christmas, does it? But I've got quite a few crafty friends that I like to make a Christmas card for, and I just thought that this little character here knitting was just perfect for a Christmas card. I wasn't sure how I was going to use it, but I knew that I wanted to use it somehow. So I will get the sketch up on my phone. So the sketch basically is a rectangle, which is what your card is, or what my card this time will start out of. And it's got 4 different panels on it. This just gives you an idea of the front of the card. So what I did was have a look around through all my stash. I've got quite a bit of stash. Have you? Yeah, I have too. Lots of designer series paper, odd sheets here, there and everywhere. So I'm also using this challenge to use up some of my stash. I also recently rather madly went through all my sets, all my stamp sets, trying to decide whether I still needed them. And of course I needed every single one. So I am going to use a couple of sets. We're going to use this one. This is retired, but I really like this one, the Friends Make the Season Shine stamp. And then also I've used the lights out of this one as well. Now you could doodle this really easily. Just do a wavy bit of string and just do little lights hanging off of it. So that's what I've used from that. I did use another stamp as well. This is from a label. It was one that you got with a punch, and I've used this stamp set. I'll show you that in a minute. But let me show you the finished card. Okay, so can you see, if I bring my sketch back in, okay, let's have a look. So can you see what I mean? When I looked at that, I was like, yes, 4 panels on the front of a card. Yay, we can do a fun fold. So there is a video just about this fun fold somewhere else. So I'm going to whiz through this fairly quickly, but really talk you through my thinking behind different elements of it and how to do it, but a lot quicker than I would normally. So we have got layering on it. So it starts off as one piece of card like that. I've just put 1 panel there for my personal message. I might again go through my sets and have a look if there's quite a Christmassy craft sentiment, or just a crafty sentiment that I can make Christmassy. Obviously you're going to see this one anyway, but it says Friends Make the Season Shine. So crafting friends together, I think that's perfect for that. This is just layered with DSP from some old stash that I've got, and this one. This background piece here, that's what I actually did the lights across. I just got a white piece of card and then I stamped across it. I'll show you that now to the side of me. So I just did that and then just layered it on. Really because I want this character here to be the bit that my eye is taken to, but I wanted it still to feel Christmassy, so that's that bit. That's the underneath bit, and just to tie it in with the front, it's important to do something on the inside so that it looks like it should be there. And then that will just stand on the side like that. So, ta-da! So, how do we make that? Well, I've got all the elements here. This character here, if you purchase the Zany Zeus wheat, or the bundle actually, you get a set of dies that exactly matches these characters. So job done. Don't have to think about it too much. So that's what I used for that. Let me put that out the way. Bring over my A4 sheet of paper. Now I did use a whole A4 sheet per card, but there's quite a bit of waste on it, so you're going to be fine. So taking my A4 sheet, I'm going to cut it on the short side at 7 inches. So I'm just going to get my trimmer. I knew that I was going to start coughing as soon as I filmed. I think I've got a touch of hay fever. So 7 inches on the shorter side, just like that. So that gives you, now you can keep that. Keep that to one side. You can make a belly band with that. You can do all sorts. That's big enough to keep. Now on the long side, oh, I've just put that arm in and I need it out. On the long side, it needs to be 8 5/8. So 8 5/8 on the long side. And that is a much fatter bit. So you could actually use that as a background piece of card, couldn't you? You can layer in the same colour. You don't have to do a different colour. I always do a different colour, or tend to do a different colour, because it adds a border and just frames your individual squares. But actually, if you were doing something like a really nice winter Christmas card in white, you could still layer it up in white. White on white is actually really effective. Okay, back to this card. So we want to turn it into that fun fold. So what we're going to do is we're going to score on this long side here. So you've got the shorter bit along the measuring, and we are going to score it at 2 3/4. Now be really careful. So often have I cut and not scored. So that's 2 3/4, just like that. Hopefully you can see that. Now you need to score along the top as well. So I'm just going to turn it ever right round, and 2 3/4 along the top. Okay, so now you should have a square, a rectangle and a long rectangle here. Okay, now we need to do a diagonal from around here to here. So we need to go through that cross there where those two score lines meet. So we're going to measure along the top here at 5 1/2. Now you could do this with a pencil, a pen. You just need a tiny little mark where it is, but I'm going to use my score in blade. I don't know if you can see that. There's just a scored mark there. And now I need to do it on this side here, but that's a bit awkward. So I'm going to turn it over and do it at 5 1/2. And this is why I do it with my scoring blade, because when I turn it over, I can still see it. So I've got a little score line there, a score line there, and I'm going to line it up on the cutting runner here. So this score line, oh, really noisy. This score line, scored mark to this scored mark. And before I do it, before I score it, I'm putting that down and I'm just checking that the two score lines cross exactly in the middle of where I'm now going to score. Okay, and I just do it a few times because I really want to see where that is. And that is it. Okay, so that comes back over. You can see the score lines are there. So all we need to do is fold one over that way. Okay, if you've got a bone folder, use that to burnish. One over that way. And then the diagonal one, also do that one, like so. Okay, so can you see what happens? The paper already wants to go into its shape. So if you bring that over and bring this one over to here, it just folds into itself, and that is our card shape. So now all we need to do is decorate it. So the panels, let's do these panels. So I've got one panel that goes on here, okay. This side, the size of this panel is 2.5 by 3. Okay, so I've done this in cherry cobbler and this is in garden green. And then I've stamped across this, and I'm just going to finish colouring those in. So I use my Stamp and Write markers to colour these. You can use whatever pens you've got. I like the colour to coordinate. That's the really great thing about Stampin' Up. So because I want it to coordinate, I'm using the exact same colours so that they all come out lovely and matching. The Stampin' Write markers have two ends. One is an end that you can do writing and details on, and the other is like a fat felt end if you've got something further to colour. The other great thing is that you can stamp direct, or you can colour directly on the stamps and stamp with them. So I'll show you in a moment when we do the next bit how great that looks. Okay, so I am just filling in these last few lights just so that they're all coloured. That one needs to be red, I think. I'm sort of following a pattern, well, pretending to. So I've got real red, I've got garden green, a really nice blue, a crushed crushed curry. I think that's it. Is that nearly it? I've got a couple more. Okay, one there. And then I missed that pink one there. Some of the loops from the stamp actually look like the lights. Can you see that? I thought it was a loop, but it's not. And then a green. I just did green. Really not concentrating, am I? I just want to get to the ta-da moment, you know, at the end when we go, ta-da, look what we made. Okay, so that's just going to go on there. So a bit of Tombow glue because it gives me a bit of wiggle. You can use double-sided tape, whatever glue you want. And I'm just making sure that I've got a white border. Now the size that I gave you was for the green, which was 2.5 by 3. So the white piece has just gone down 1 more 1/8 of an inch. So if it was 2.5, it would be 2 and 3. And if it was 3, it would be 2 7/8. So just some glue on there, because I don't want this to be the star of the show. I just want it to be in the background. Just making sure that my lights are not upside down. So there's that one. Okay, there's that one done. Now the next square is this one, and this is 2 5/8 by 2 5/8. And I am just gonna, that's gonna go on there, but because it's on a green piece of card, I'm just gonna colour along the edge just so it hasn't got the white border, and it will just make it look much better. Okay, so I'm just using the Stampin' Right marker to do that. You don't need to do it on the bigger white bit because it's white anyway. I've got a bit of glue there, that's going to stick to everything. So this one was 2 5/8 by 2 5/8. So the designer series paper is 2.5 by 2.5. So really simple to remember. Okay, just put some Tombow glue on there. And that one will just go there, and you can put it any way round you want to, like so. Now the next one is a rectangle. So this is 1 3/8 by 2.5. And again, I've gone along the edge with my green marker pen just so that you can't see it. And this is just a little bit of scrap of paper that I had left in my stash. All Stampin' Up paper. The tricky bit is it's two-sided. Look, that would have gone just as good, but I want the present side. So even though you can't see a lot of the presents, you can still see some of them. So I still think it's quite a Christmassy piece of paper. I was trying to think how to get some glitter and some bling in. I nearly did it on glitter card, but I thought most of it would not be seen, and that was using a lot of glitter card for not much really effect. So that one just goes there, like so. Now this little character here, we're just going to put some dimensionals on. I have just coloured him or her in with alcohol blends, just because you can get a bit of shading on there. And then I've kept to the same colours, so cherry cobbler and garden green. And I have also gone over the wool in some Wink of Stella. So I don't know that you can see that, just so that it looks like Christmassy wool. And she is just going to go on there, just like that. So Wink of Stella is this. It's just like a glittery paintbrush that Stampin' Up do. And you literally just paint it over, and it just adds an extra depth, in this case glitter, to your products. Let me see, can you see that? Probably not. Okay, so the last bit to do is the inside bit. So the inside piece is so that's going to fit in there, and that is 4 by 5.5. Now before I stick it down, I'm going to put it like that, and I'm going to close it so that I can see where I want to stamp. Okay, and the reason I'm not sticking it down is if I stamp it really terribly, or the ink doesn't work properly or something like that, I haven't lost any sleep over it, because I can just turn it over and use the other side. So I'm just tapping my ink in, and I am just lining it up by eye, just making sure it fills that rectangle gap. Ah, look at that, and it just fits in there perfectly. Okay, and then the other thing I'm going to do is just stamp across. So I've already put the stamp there, but this time I'm going to use some Memento ink, I think. I'm just going to put that there so you can see. And again, I'll have to go along and colour. So I'm just putting it along the top. Okay. So that's my Christmas lights. I'm going to colour those little bulbs in. I'll do that in a moment. And that now is ready to be stuck inside our card. And then I think we're there. So I need to go off now and make another 9 of these, and that will be my May challenge done. Honestly, last year when I did this, well, I failed miserably. I think I did January and February, might have done March, and then it all went to pot. And then Christmas came round and I was like, oh, it's okay, it's fine, I've got my cards. And I didn't have, because I hadn't done them. So this year I was determined that I did it. And I thought, how can I make myself accountable? How can I make sure that each month I do it? But I know I'll do a video craft along to a sketch, and then that will give me something to do for YouTube and also make me do the cards. Do you know what? I've forgotten there's one square still left to do. So how do we do the last little bit of detail on here? So I have punched this out from the postage stamp punch that Stampin' Up do, and we're going to use this sentiment here, but we're going to do it in 2 colours. So I'm going to do the Christmas. What it actually says is happy on a banner, and then Christmas to you and yours. So I'm going to do the green with the fat felt on the word that says Christmas. So I'm just using the side of the stamping marker like a paintbrush, and I'm just painting across just like that. Okay, and I want to turn it around that way because I just want to make sure I've got all of the letters at the bottom as well as the top. And then I'm taking my cherry cobbler and I'm doing the same with the banner at the top. Okay, just brushing over it and just making sure it's well covered. I spin it round and I do the lettering at the bottom. Now, if there's a lovely crafting fairy out there, this will come out perfect. So fingers crossed, everybody. Okay, let's see. I'm going to do it over this way a bit because I need to lean over it. Right, please let it be straight. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Oh, yay, look at that. So that is how to do 2 colours with your Stampin' Right markers. And then the other thing that I'm going to do, I haven't got any garden green ribbon, so I'm using a bit of card. I'm just going to fold it. I've already roughly measured. It's 5.5, so it's double the size of this and a bit. And I'm going to fold it in half like so. And then I've got a retired punch just to shape the ends, which you can do with scissors. But literally just tuck that in there and tuck it in that end. So this will look like a ribbon. It'll give the illusion of a ribbon, but really it's card. So that is going to go behind there. I'm just going to unfold that a bit. So it's like that. That's going to go on there. So let's put a bit of glue on here, a bit on there, a bit on there. Oops, put a bit more in there. That's going to go in the middle, like so. So I have a bit that side and a bit overlapping. And then I'm going to turn it over and use a couple of dimensionals so it gives it a bit of depth. Just there and there. It's got no weight on it. And then let's see if we can put that on fairly central, like so. Oh my goodness, I think we're there. I do think it needs a little bit of glitter or bling, so I might put a couple of little spots on there or something on there maybe. But other than that, ta-da! There's our card done. So here's the finished one from earlier, because I haven't coloured the lights on that one. But there it is. So this was our May My goodness, May already. This was our May 10 card challenge from a sketch. So if we check back with our sketch, let's have a look. Okay, so it's definitely there. 4 panels. It's just even better because it's a fun fold. Well, I hope that you've enjoyed watching that today. Thank you for sticking with me, and I will see you again very soon. Goodbye.